Boom! Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru. I love it. Today's what? January the 6th, 11:44 hours. This is what I live for. This is what I do 365 days out of the year, 24/7. Get used to this pretty face because the 3 days of the draft, you will not see this pretty face the 3 days of the draft. That's when I order wings, sit back, and I enjoy the 3 days of the draft because I've put out way enough content, and then I'll be breaking down the draft after it's done. Today, I'm coming out with Dallas Cowboys mock draft 62.0. So I've dropped 61 mocks already. You can check it on my YouTube channel, and you can check it on my X channel. Also, later on, I'm going to be coming out with 10 prospects. Yo, the prospects never end, bro. We're probably going to go over 800. I'm going to be dropping 10 more prospects later on, and then we're also going to be coming out with a 2-round mock draft today, non-playoff teams. Because if I add the playoff teams in it, I'm just guessing on what's what. Actually, we're going to come out with a 1-round mock draft because if I go with the 2, it'll be, how can I phrase this? It'll be level tie it'll be stacked with players because we're not counting the playoff teams. All right, no joke. I've given you everyone already on this list, and I'm legit over 2,000. I've done over 2,000 mock drafts on my own already for Dallas, but this is an NFL 32 team. This channel is for everybody, and I've done 3 32 team mock drafts already. I'm going to be coming out with a 4th one later on today, plus 10 more collegiate prospects. Boom! Look to your left. Look to your right. Look to all your favorite draft channels. See how many players they're at. And by Cowboys Blog in the house, thank you for jumping in. And also, by far, the best beard on YouTube. Dun, dun, dun. Pick number 12. Listen, man, I was happy we lost yesterday. I'm sorry. Strictly business decision. I believe if we would have won, we would have been picking 18. Yo, that was 5 picks. 6 picks, that's a huge difference. Pick 12. It's not flashy. And don't jump all over me. It's January the 6th. But the theme of this draft is going to be trenches. We're going to be going with pick 12, Kelvin Banks, left tackle out of Texas. 6'4", 330 plus, 3-year starter, Mauler. Usually they would take a guy like this and throw him inside to guard, but for a guy listen, Trent Williams is like 6'5". I comp this kid kind of to Trent Williams. He's only 6'4", but legit, he has arms. He has arms past his knees, this kid. So I see him staying at left tackle in the NFL. Worst case scenario down the road, you could probably throw him into left guard, but I think he's a legit left tackle. He's like running into a stump. He's a 3-year starter at Texas. And I said before the season started, Texas has the number 1 offensive line in the NFL. And when he goes to the Senior Bowl, doesn't matter, he's a junior. Juniors are allowed. They get invited. He's going to stonewall people, especially with his hands. Listen, like I said, don't jump all over me. This is mock draft 62.0. I've published 61 already. We're having fun. It's January. There's other offensive tackles I like. There's 2 kids I've narrowed it down to. Boom, that's a coin flip. It's still early. Things can change. But pick round 2 at pick 44. Mike Green, edge, Marshall, 6'4", 250 pounds. This kid is flying up the board, 81 tackles, 17 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. He's 6'4", 250, and he is flying up the board. This kid has a good Senior Bowl and a good combine. He's a solid round 2 pick. Picking 76. This kid has slid a little. Deone Walker. What's the theme here, people? Trenches. Because let's say 3 years from now, no matter who we got on this team, we have to rebuild it. And a normal coach, a normal like a person that takes care of a team, a general manager or whatever, you build from the inside out. Deone Walker, defensive tackle, Kentucky, 6'6", 350, and that's what him died in. This kid has probably played closer to 360 in his time. He had a little bit of a down year in 2024 at Kentucky, but when the season started, this kid was a legit first-round draft pick. In 2024, he only had 37 tackles and 2 sacks. My opinion, he was making a business decision. In 2023, he played better. This kid can play at that size. He's played 1 tech, he's played 3 tech, he's played stand-up 5 tech. Crazy athletic, only 20 years old. This kid is a baby. He's not even old enough to drink. Last year in 2023, 55 tackles and 8 sacks. I'm telling you, you have no idea how many times kids there last year, they play not to get hurt and they do business decisions. Trenches, people. Now we got to wait 17 years to draft because Jerry Jones likes to trade our 4th-round draft picks. We pick 148. We're going Devin Neal, running back, Kansas, 5'11", 215. Check out this kid's production. 3 years over 1,000 yards. In 2024, he had 1,200, almost 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. 2023, almost 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. 2022, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. And 2021, about 800 yards and about 8 TDs. This is an underrated 5th-round sleeper speedster out of the University of Kansas. I told everybody I want to come out of this draft with a speedster. I want to come out of this draft with a big running back. Number 2 running back. At pick 168, we have 4 5th-round picks, people. Don't yell at me. I'm not the GM. I'm not Jerry. Kaytron Allen, Penn State, running back, 5'11", 235. 1,000 yards, 8 TDs. He had close to 200 yards with a TD reception. This kid is a legit bowling ball. He's the kid you bring in the second half, and the defense just goes, oh, shit, man. Because now we got to tackle this. We've been chasing around Neal all day. Now we got this monster coming in. I want to come out of this draft with 2 running backs. Running backs is a loaded position. I pick 170. We're coming out with Dani, Dennis-Sutton. 6'5", 270, slash. This kid, Penn State. He's an edge, and he's about 2 Thanksgiving meals away from playing defensive tackle. 37 tackles, 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Listen, like I said, this kid is a perfect 5 tech. You want to switch to a 3-4. This kid in the 5th round has more potential than Marshawn Nealon did. And we took Marshawn Nealon in round 2. Marshawn Nealon's much smaller than this player with 0 bend. And Marshawn Nealon, you're not throwing inside the defensive tackle. This kid, you can do either or, in my opinion. Like I said, when you're 270 and you're 6'5" and you have the edge, you have the height, this kid's a couple of meals away from playing DT. So we could play him DT. If Sam Williams works out, we can, if he's not, we can put him in edge or we can throw him inside. It's when you have somebody with that size, you can do both. And this kid is not getting love at all. They'll start to get love now that all the other blowjob channels are hearing it on Danny Savage channel. Because I love it, bro. This is what I live for. Draft season. Next pick, 171 for all our fan base that says we need more weapons. Ricky White, wide receiver, UNLV. This kid is a sleeper monster. 6'1", 190. He had a better 2023. He had 1,600 yards and I think 12 touchdowns in 2023. In 2024, he had 79 receptions, 1,000 yards, a little over 1,000 yards, like 1,050 and 11 touchdowns. This kid has the size and he's a speedster. You can put him in the slot. You can throw Lamb in the slot. But this kid has the size and he will, you can get rid of Brandon Cooks and this kid will stretch the field. Just like someone's doll had a mouth stretch the other night. Personal joke. Boom. Pick 186. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, linebacker, Kentucky. 6'1", 245. What's the theme here, people? Bigger linebackers. I do not want 220-pound linebackers banging between the tackles. I don't. Because come week 10, come week 12, come week 13, come week 14, they start wearing down. So let's just get big kids to begin with. Solid 3-year production. 2024, he only had 67 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. 2023, he was nicked up. He had a bad year. He only had 34 tackles and 4 sacks. Going back to 2022, he had 70 tackles and 4 sacks. 3-year starter and size, people. As a famous wrestler once said, size does matter. I don't want a project that we got to wait to put 33 years to put 30 pounds on. Bigger linebackers. So, like I said, don't kill me. We're having fun. January the 6th at 11:44 hours. It's a little bit later than that now. And this is Dallas mock draft 62.0. Later on, we're going to be dropping 10 more college draft prospects. And later on our way to 800 plus. And then later, I think I'm at 529 or 539 already. I think I'm at. So we're going to be dropping 10 more collegiate prospects later on. Then also, I'm going to be doing later on every team that did not go to the playoffs. I'm going to be doing a first round mock draft. And that's 4.0, because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Also, check in Cowboys blog. Comes on either Wednesday nights or Thursday nights, the Frisco Report. You got Cowboys Corner, usually Saturday nights, talking crazy. We got Fifth Quarter Cowboys. He comes on Monday nights, Friday nights. You got Cowboys Champs. Sub and subscribe to all these channels. Cowboys Fiend. OG himself, he was going crazy yesterday with Trey Lance, but no, glad we lost. We got 1980s Cowboy. He's dropping legit. OG, he knows his shit, and he's dropping good stuff. And we got Eshan, Hollywood's newest up-and-coming producer at PaladonianFilms.com. This is what my channel lives for. Don't expect to see my face to 3 days of the draft. That's when I take off for myself. You've had enough content at that point. Over and out. See you later.